Hi, this is LJ Bothell, and this video will be a brief introduction to Microsoft OneNote, which is a notebook, note-taking, research assistant tool. It's really terrific. And I will actually post links to other videos that will give you a little bit more detailed information, demos you can try out for yourself. But this is just to give you a feel of what it looks like. Now, when you open OneNote for the first time, you may not have any notebooks in there, but you can have the chance, or it may open automatically to a quick notes section that gives you some information about how to use OneNote. I really recommend that you use this tool and that you watch the video that comes with it and you take a look at the information that is offered, because it's very, very simple. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and I'm going to add a notebook, basically a new one. And notice when I try to do this, Microsoft is expecting that I'm first wanting to send this over to OneDrive, which is cloud storage. However, you also can save it to your computer, and that's what I'm currently going to do. I'm just going to go ahead and save this basic notebook, call it that. And I will be putting it on the computer, but I need to tell it what folder I want it to go into. So right now it's going to go into My Documents, OneNote Notebooks. I can go save it anywhere on my computer. I have a Lisa folder, and I could just save it right in here. Create. And now I have a basic OneNote notebook. Now, the idea behind the notebook is it's basically, you think of it as a paper notebook that has several tabs in it, one for each section, and each section would have a bunch of blank pages. Now, new section, I'm just going to treat this as if it was a school notebook and I was a student at Shoreline taking several classes. So you could double click the name. I'm going to call this English 101. This little plus on this tab allows me to create a new tab, so I might call it History 101. The third one, I'm going to forget math. I don't like math. I'll just call this Art History 101. So now I have 3 tabs in my notebook, and each one defaults to having a single sheet of paper in it. So let's start with English 101 first, which I have not actually taken through Shoreline. The page I have here is called Untitled. I could double click the name. Oops, sorry. I can right click the name rather and rename it. And what happens is, instead of having me type into the tab, it actually prompts me to type the name here at the top of the page. So for English 101, I might type in Syllabus, because I might want one page where I can get a copy of the syllabus from, say, an online PDF and drop it over here. But if I want to add a page, I might want another one where I would note, see, if I try to double click this, it will put me over here. I'll say books or book list to read. I'm just going to put those 2 pages there. And I'm going to go over to History 101, and I could do the same thing. If I'm going to do a syllabus page, why retype it? I'm going to come over to my basic notebook, English 101. I'm going to right-click on the syllabus page. And then I want to move or copy. And what I would like to do is make a copy of it and move it over into History. So what I'm going to do is come over to History, and I want to copy it so that it remains in English 101 syllabus, but now I have a History 101 syllabus. Now this is after an untitled page, but I could just drag it above it like that, see? And then over here on the untitled page, I could come in here and I could say Ancient History Timeline. And then I might create another page that would be Medieval History. Medieval, my spelling is not the world's best. Medieval History Timeline. And then I might say that's all we're going to get in that class, and I'll say I'd like to create a final page, and I'm going to call this Test Prep Essay Questions. See how easy it is to just create these? And then finally, for art history, once again, I might want a syllabus. So I could just as easily type syllabus here again too. Or I could make a copy of one of the other pages. Then I could add another page, and I could say examples of Egyptian artwork. Now, why am I doing this rather diverse form of pages? because I want to show you the types of things you could put in here. First off, with the English syllabus, I'm not actually going to go find a syllabus to drag in, but you could. On the other hand, you could come down below, you can click anywhere on the page to start typing, but I'm just going to start typing here where the likely typing space is. Notice how it's time-stamped for the time and start of the page, and yes, it is 1:40 a.m., but I'm a night bird. I'm going to say expected outcomes. I hit enter, and it went and corrected the spelling for me. And then required book. I might want to put a colon up here. Days of lectures. So you could get all of these sort of things and you could type them in yourself. Now notice this little typing box seems narrow, but I could just drag this across so I could use it. So if I were to grab some information from a syllabus online, I could do that. So why don't I go online and just grab some text. I'm going to pause for a moment, see if I could find something in here that we might use for a syllabus. Okay, what I have done is I have gone to get some information about the English 101 class. Right now, I don't have the formal syllabus, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a page, and I'm just going to call this page Class Introductory Notes. And it's not my notes that I'm taking from sitting in the class, but instead it's going to be the notes I get from the website. So I'm going to click over here, find the website. Here's English 101 at Shoreline Community College. Now I could get these notes in more than one way. I could go in here and I could copy. And it's kind of slow, depending on how your page scrolls. And I'm just going to grab some of it. Control C for copy, and then I'm going to come back over to the notebook. And I'm going to paste. And what will happen is this will paste in the way the source has it. That's just fine, but I'm going to undo that, and I'm going to right click, and I could do a paste, keep text only, and then I'll have this. However, I won't have the active links. So I'm going to undo that, and I'm using Control Z, and then I'm going to go ahead and just paste it as is again. That way I can access any of these links. But the other thing I could do in here is say that I have some information that I just want to read, and there's no links that I'm terribly enamored of. I can easily just take a screenshot of this. So on my computer, I'm taking a quick screenshot of what this page looks like. Then I'm going to move over here and I could paste in the screenshot. And see, there's a screenshot. This is how easy that OneNote is for being able to grab information. Let's take a quick look at History 101. Okay, so now I'm in my History 101 area. I was doing a little looking around online for a moment and I couldn't find an actual History 101. It's actually called History 116, so I need to change this name. I could just do that by double-clicking the name 116, and that would be your ancient and medieval history. However, I also was not able to find any particularly useful syllabus information. Here's what I did find. I found this PDF, and I'm going to click back over here to search, and this is a PDF link. So what I'm going to do is try to bring this PDF over as if it was the syllabus and see what we get. We bring this, and then if we click this link, it should take us to this PDF when you, of course, you're online and you're connected. But notice again how interesting that is. I just put the link over here, and this gives me a whole bunch of additional link info, but I could delete that and that link will be good. And then I might make a note, to myself that this is really just a link to the Shoreline Community College History Degree PDF. Now let's go take a look at art history. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this examples of Egyptian artwork to show you other things that you can copy and drag in here. So what I'm going to do is go back to the web. I'm going to go over to one of my favorite sites, which is Google, and say Egyptian art. And I'm going to go look for images. I can come up here. I can open this in a new tab, view the image, right click on it, copy image, and then let's go back over here and paste in here and see what we get. There's the image pasted. So there are going to be some things you could drag over here and some things you can't. The other great thing is, and right now I have the tabs, the menu items all closed. I'm going to come up here, I'm going to open these so you can see these different commands. In your Home tab, you can make changes to the text and to the styles of things. I can come here, and for expected outcomes, I can make it bold. I can make this italicized. I can use days of lectures. I can add some sort of style. Let's take a look here. See if I could use a background color. So I'm going to use one that's like this. See? All sorts of basic things you could do. You can do a to-do tag. This is one of my favorite things to add to a book list to read. Say I have in my English 101 class Huck Finn. I have Stephen King's The Stand. And let's see, what else do I want to read? Oh, I don't know. Anthology short stories for the 20th century. I can't spell century. So if I have these and I want to treat this as a checklist, I can actually click in front of one of these, put in a to-do tag, and notice what happens here. And then when I've read it, I can click this, and until I've read it, I can have that off. Then I could go down here and notice it makes a new one, so I have to undo it again. And then I could say notes. I could take a bunch of notes on that. I could even bold this, make it bigger. So we go back up to basic text. I'll make it 16 points. I can use the lovely paintbrush to change this one, and I can change this one. Turn off the paintbrush, drop down. And here's the problem, is that these styles are now bigger, so I'm going to click this, hit the paintbrush, change the style in here, hit the paintbrush again, change, there's no style down below. Oops, stop that. So anyway, these are a few things you could do here. You can insert files, you can insert screen clippings if you don't simply copy and paste them in. If you scan images, you can scan things right into here. You can get a link. So if I were to come here and say I want to get a link to this, I would of course need to know where the link is, but I might just say http://StephenKing.com, and then I would want to find out a little bit more information. I could also browse the web, so if I'm not absolutely certain what the address is, I could come here and say Stephen King. Welcome to StephenKing.com. Grab this, come back over, paste it in, etc. Now there's tons and tons of things you could put in here. You can actually draw things. If I really wanted to go in here and get, let's see here, grab this and circle something. Where'd it go? Let's see, I could circle things. I can add shapes. I can change the color and thickness of something that I want to do and make this bright green. Okay. The thing I'm trying to show you is just how inventive this tool is. The videos that you'll have to look at of specific steps you take can be very useful, and they will actually help you find better ways to use this. But this is just to give you an idea of how the notebook works. Final thing I want to let you know before I let you go on this is that the basic notebook saves as you go. If you're like me and you're used to working in Word and Excel and PowerPoint, you're used to saving everything. So one of my favorite keystrokes is always use the Control S, as in Control Save. So I still do that. OneNote doesn't mind, it doesn't care. However, it actually updates information every time you put it in there. But I could go in and I could put a timestamp in something here. So let's see if I can go find Insert Timestamp. Insert Date and Time. So here we are. This is the date and time for the examples of Egyptian artwork. So this is a good thing if you're actually making a recording of something. You can record audio, you can record video if you've got your camera on. And the one thing to keep in mind is that the more things like audio and video and any kind of animations that you try to either put in here and embed in it or link to really big things, it will slow your work down because there's only so much that your computer processing speed can use unless you've got a high-end machine. So you do want to use this in a reasonable fashion. You want to capture information you need, but you don't want to necessarily use this as a real photo album or as an animation tool. But you can put things in here when you need to. So anyway, this saves as you go, and when you're done with it, I'm in Basic Notebook. When I'm done with it, I can go to Settings and I can close. So I hope this was helpful to you. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.